Sleepy Winks is excited to bring you our adaptation of Goldilocks and the Three Bears, written by Zach Connor, narrated by Heather Connor.
Once upon a time, deep in the forest, there lived 3 bears. There was a big, strong Papa Bear,
Howdy, folks.
a dainty Mother Bear, well, hi there, and a wee little baby bear.
Hi.
The 3 bears lived comfortably in a house amongst the woods. Every morning, they would all get up, make breakfast, and spend the day relaxing, taking walks in the forest, or finding delicious berries to eat. One day, the Mother Bear woke early to surprise the Papa Bear and Baby Bear with a nice homemade breakfast. The Papa and Baby Bear awoke to the smell of delicious porridge wafting through the house. They both made their beds and walked down the stairs. "Good morning, my dears," the Mother Bear said, kissing them both on the cheek. "I've made a special porridge breakfast for you. Go sit at the table and I'll bring it to you." The Papa Bear and Baby Bear looked at each other with excited smiles and hurried over to the table to sit down. The Mother Bear brought in the steaming porridge and put it down in front of Papa Bear and Baby Bear. Baby Bear didn't waste any time and took a quick bite.
Oh, this porridge is too hot.
He exclaimed, spitting his porridge out and fanning his burning mouth with his little baby paw. The Mother and Papa Bears looked at the steaming porridge and decided it was indeed too hot to eat right away.
I have an idea.
Papa Bear said suddenly.
Why don't we go look for some fresh berries in the woods to eat with our breakfast while we wait for it to cool down?
I love fresh berries.
Said Baby Bear as he hopped to his feet and started for the door. The 3 bears filed out of their house, one at a time, and began walking through the woods in search of berries. A few moments later, a young girl who had wandered away from her grandmother's house, deep in the woods, came upon a beautiful home. She was wearing a knee-length blue dress with white polka dots and had long, curly, golden hair. Her grandmother loved her hair so much that she would call her Goldilocks. Goldilocks approached the house and caught a delicious scent of porridge and decided to see if she could join whoever lived there for breakfast. Goldilocks knocked on the front door, but there was no answer. She knocked again, harder this time, and the door swung in a crack. Goldilocks opened it a bit wider, poked her head in, and said, "Hello, is anyone home?" With her stomach growling and the smell of the breakfast overwhelming her, she decided to let herself in. She followed her nose to the dining room and found 3 bowls of porridge sitting on the table. She went up to the biggest bowl and tasted it. "Ouch! This porridge is too hot!" she cried out. She moved down the table and tried the second smaller bowl of porridge and said with disappointment, "Oh my! This porridge is too cold." Finally, Goldilocks tasted the last and smallest bowl of porridge. This porridge is just right," she said, and gobbled that bowl of porridge all up. After Goldilocks finished the porridge, she decided to try and go find the family who lived in the house to thank them for the delicious meal. She went into the living room and saw 3 comfortable-looking chairs. She went up to the biggest chair and sat in it. "Oh, no, no, no. This chair is much too hard," she said, shaking her head and hopping off of it. She then went to the medium-sized chair and sat in it. "Whoa!" she exclaimed, almost disappearing into the large cushions. "This chair is way too soft." Finally, she walked over to the smallest chair and sat in it. "Ah, now that's much better. This chair is just right." As she got comfortable in the small chair, it creaked loudly, and a few moments later, one of the legs broke. It and Goldilocks went tumbling to the floor. Goldilocks stood back up from the floor and brushed herself off. At this point, Goldilocks was getting very tired and decided the family that lived here was not home. She decided to lay down for just a few minutes and wait for them to return. She made her way upstairs and found 3 beds. She tried to climb into the first bed and said, "Well, this won't work at all. This bed is too high. I can't even reach the top." She moved on to the next bed, looked down at it, ruffled the sheets with her foot, and said, "Oh my, this bed is practically on the floor. It is much too low." Goldilocks then moved on to the third bed. She climbed into it, pulled the covers up around her, and before falling asleep, Goldilocks let out a long, comfortable sigh and said, "This bed is just right." Shortly after Goldilocks fell asleep, the 3 bears returned home from looking for fresh berries. They noticed that their front door was open and entered their house slowly. They immediately noticed that their bowls of porridge had moved and hurried over to investigate.
"Someone has tasted my porridge,"
said Papa Bear. "Someone has tasted my porridge," said Mama Bear.
Well, at least they left you some. Whoever tasted my porridge gobbled it all up,"
cried Baby Bear. The 3 bears, now knowing someone had been in their home, rushed into the living room searching for the intruder.
"Well, someone has been sitting in my chair,"
bellowed Papa Bear. "Someone has been sitting in my chair," exclaimed Mama Bear.
"Someone broke my chair,"
wailed Baby Bear. The 3 bears continued searching for whoever was in their house and made their way to their bedrooms.
"Someone tried to climb into my bed,"
said Papa Bear. "Someone tried to crawl into my bed," cried Mama Bear. Baby Bear tiptoed into his parents' room and whispered,
"Someone didn't try to sleep in my bed. They are sleeping in my bed right now."
The 3 bears quietly made their way into Baby Bear's room and saw a young girl fast asleep in Baby Bear's bed. As they crept closer, the floor under the 3 bears' weight squeaked, startling Goldilocks awake. Her eyes grew wide, and she let out a small squeal as she threw off the covers, jumped from the open window in Baby Bear's room, and ran as fast as she could back to her grandmother's house. The 3 bears never saw Goldilocks again. The end. Sleepy Winks hopes you have enjoyed our adaptation of Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. Written by Zach Connor, narrated by Heather Connor. From the entire Sleepy Winks family, thank you.